ensure that the high-end visitors continue to come to Bermuda. One of the things that influences how far people travel is, of course, the price of oil. And with the price of oil continuously going up, Bermuda continues to be a costly destination. Is it really that sustainable?
Well, I do believe so. You know, I think that everything is relative in the sense that as far as the cost of oil is concerned, and therefore we might see it reflected in airline fares, I don't know. But if it is, Bermuda's proximity to North America will mean that it will be less expensive for the airlines to operate between North America and Bermuda. And out of Europe, I believe that, yes, they're not going to stop. I can tell you that the cost of oil will not stop flights from the UK to North America or Bermuda.
But they will be more expensive.
They could be, but we don't know that. I wouldn't want to speculate on that right now. The airlines have a way of dealing with the cost of fuel, and what I think we should do is enjoy the fact that thus far in 2007, we've exceeded by more than 3,000 passengers, all of the passengers who came from the UK last year. So that's a good sign, and we're celebrating that.
And still on the issue of sustainability and tourism, and I asked you this before, you some time ago urged the promotion of tourism within the schools, but a recent survey indicated that school-aged Bermudians are not interested. They don't see tourism as an employment area of employment of choice.
Well, you know, that's what that reporter found. When I go into the schools, I hear something else. But I have no doubt that we haven't quite turned the corner. We haven't turned young Bermuda on yet to tourism. After all, it's been quite a while since Bermudians could enjoy going into the hospitality industry and feeling that they could also go up. Now they have that feeling. So it'll take a while for that to sink in and for parents to be confident that they can urge their children to go into a hospitality career. It's going to happen. Young Bermudians are going to go into the hospitality industry, especially since it is a requirement for new properties and the old ones that are refurbishing, to provide staff housing. We think that with housing being the precious commodity that it is in Bermuda, that many young people who might not have been looking at hospitality as a career will do so, even if it's because it allows them to have a place of their own.
Are you under any pressure, sir, to bring casinos to some of these new hotels?
No, there's no pressure. There are people who would love to see casinos in Bermuda, but they know the current law, and so it's off the table at the moment.
Could you tell me, could you elaborate, did Mr. Caines mention that you were working on getting increased competition travelling to Toronto and Atlanta?
Yes.
Can you elaborate on that at all?
Yes, we've been working on all of our gateways to have low fares introduced. We've succeeded in all but two, and that is, as the Senator mentioned, Atlanta and Toronto. We've been in negotiations with at least two other carriers in Canada. Nothing has come out of that yet. When I say nothing, the flights are not moving. But we have had fruitful discussions with other carriers in Canada, and I believe that in 2008 you will see a low-cost carrier enter the market from Canada, and that the impact will be the same that we've seen in other cases, where it will bring the airfares down. Atlanta, we've been in negotiations, discussions with AirTran for almost 3 years now. They just ordered some new planes. They're trying to reconfigure some to fly over water, and so that precluded a 2007 start. But they're always positive. They've looked at the numbers. They've seen what has happened in other gateways, and I think that although Atlanta might be the last one to concede, I think it's in the works.
Is there anything, I know there was a piece in the Gazette this week talking about Morgan's Point and land swap and to do with Southlands. Is there, is there any more that you can say about that at the moment? And also, would you be willing at all to concede perhaps that maybe there was a rush to like locate the hotel in that original, in the Southlands as opposed to Morgan's Point?
Not at all. Let me say that the discussions with the owners of Southlands are moving along nicely, and it would be premature for me and probably inappropriate for me to reveal any more specifics, but I can tell you that the discussions are going quite well. With respect to rushing at Southlands, absolutely not. Let's remember that Southlands was and is private property. And the people who bought it had a right to develop it for what it was zoned for, and that was tourism. Once they owned it and came to us and wanted to discuss Morgan's Point, then we felt free to do so. But as long as it was private property, then they had the right to develop it as they saw fit.
Coming back to the question of low-cost airlines, Zoom Airlines continues, well, not continues, but they've had some serious teething problems, so to speak. Is government intervening in that to have those things ironed out?
We stay in touch with our airline partners, and whenever there's an incident of customer service issues or matters like that, we do make contact, yes, with the airline, and we did so with Zoom. We always want to make sure that Bermuda is associated with an efficient and well-run airline environment. And so we've talked with the people at Zoom, and they've confirmed that they will straighten things up.
How involved were those discussions?
The discussions took place between the general manager of the airport and never reached ministerial level.
Yes. Sir, are there any plans to expand sporting tourism, such as developing Bermuda as a destination for international cricket?
Well, you know, we've already had some international cricket, and yes, cricket is one of the sports that might very well find us hosting an event. But you know, we're moving steadily on this now. We have a number of successes on record. October was obviously a blockbuster month for us, and we want to make sure we've learned from those experiences, and then we'll move to host others. But I'd like to take a moment to congratulate the staff at Tourism for helping to make these things happen, especially Roddy Carr, our consultant, who shares some vision and energy with me in terms of believing that we can do things that other people don't bother to mention. But Roddy and I thought that we could get the PGA Grand Slam in Bermuda, and Hawaii at that time had a lock on it. But because he's a dreamer, and I don't mind dreaming, we managed to continue the effort. And we'll do that with everything. I mean, here we are, small Bermuda, with the PGA Grand Slam, the World Triathlon, the World Squash Tournament, all within 2 or 3 months. I mean, that, you know, if we had a newspaper, we would really talk about that.